I'm Anil Kumar. Welcome to my series on vectors. Here is another very interesting question asked by one of our subscribers, and I hope its solution will help many others. The question here is, determine the equation of a parabola that has its axis parallel to the y-axis and passes through the points -1, 2, 1, -1, and 2, 1. I'd like you to pause the video, answer the question, and then look into my suggestions. Now, when we're talking about a parabola with axis parallel to the y-axis, that means we're looking for a parabola which is kind of like this, right? Where the axis is parallel to the y-axis. Now, equation of this parabola is given as y equals to ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, since we are given 3 points, with respect to these 3 points, we can actually find 3 different equations. So if I consider -1 and 2 as one of our points, right? So let me use -1 and 2. Let me write -1 and 2 as my point. In that case, what do I get? I get the equation by substituting -1 for x and 2 for y. So let me write y on the right hand side. So if I substitute 1 here, -1, its square will be positive, so I get a. Here I get minus b plus c equals to the y value of 2, right? The second point for us is 1 minus 1. So let's now substitute 1 minus 1 and see what do we get. So 1 will give us positive a, this will give us positive b, this will remain as c, and -1 on the right side. The third point is 2, 1. So with 2, 1, 2 square is 4, so we get 4a and plus 2b plus c, and the y value is 1 for us. Correct? Now the next step is to write augmented matrix. So from here we are going to generate the augmented matrix using the coefficients, right? So the coefficients here are a, b, and the constant c. So those are the coefficients which we are looking into, correct? So what we get here is an augmented matrix which could be written as a, b, c equals to 2. So a vertical line here and 2, correct? So that is for the first row. Then we have b was negative, right? This b is negative. Then we have a plus b plus c with -1. Here we have 4a, and then we have 2b. Actually, in the augmented matrix, there was no need for me to write a, b, and c, okay? Anyway, I just wrote it, so okay. So we get 2b here, and then we get c, and this value is 1. So we normally do not write a, b, c. But anyway, this will work. Okay. Now the idea here is to get a 0 in these 2 positions. So how do I get 0 here? I can get 0 if I perform the row operations, taking away the from row 1, the row 2. So if I say R1 minus R2 for the second row, I can eliminate a, and I can get 0 here, right? How about the last third row and first column, 0? We will have to do 4 times R1, take away R3 to get 0 in this position, right? So let's do that. So when we maintain the top row as such, which is this, the second row, we are subtracting this R1 minus R2. So it becomes 0 here. This minus this makes this minus 2b. This minus this makes it 0. This minus this makes it 3. Clear? Now in this case, we are multiplying the first row by 4 and then finding the difference. So that becomes 0. Minus 4b and minus 2 will give us minus 6b. And 4 minus c will give us 3c. So 3c. And 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. So now we get here this form, which is A minus B, C, 237 in this column, correct? So that is what we get. Now the idea here is to get a 0 in this position. So how do we get this 0? We'll use second row to get 0. And the strategy which we are going to now apply is we can multiply this by 3, right? So second row multiplied by 3, and then we'll take away our 3. Does make sense to you, right? So that's what we'll do. Maintain the very first one as such, A minus B, C, and we get here 2, right? Now this also remains same, which is 0 minus 2B, 0 and 3. And the third one, we are multiplying this by 3. Anyway, this is 0. 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 minus 6 is 0. Okay, so we get 0 here. And this is 0. 0 minus this will give us minus 3C. And multiplying this by 3 gives us 9. 9 minus 7 gives us 2. Correct? So that's what we get here in this position. Now from here we can find the values of A, B and C. You get the idea, right? So that gives you, this one gives you minus 3C equals to 2, and that means C is equals to minus 2 over 3. Clear? Now this equation gives you minus 2B equals to 3, and that gives you that B is equal to minus 3 over 2. Now we know the values of B and C. So from the first equation, substituting B and C, we can find what A is, right? So let's work on the first row, which is for us A minus B plus C equals to 2. So the value of A basically is 2 plus B minus C. So that is 2. The value of B is minus 3 over 2. And the value of C is minus 2 over 3. So that becomes plus 2 over 3. Correct? So that gives you a common denominator of 6. And 6 times 2 is 12. Minus 3 times 3 is 9. And that 2 times 2 is plus 4, right? So that gives you what? So the denominator is 6. 12 minus 3 minus 9 is 3. 3 plus 4 is 7. So we get 7 over 6 as the value of A, correct? So we have the value of A, B and C now, where A is equal to 7 over 6, B is equal to minus 3 over 2, and C is equal to minus 2 over 3, right? So these are the coefficients of x squared, x and the constant term C. So we get our solution that the parabola should be y equals to 7 over 6 x squared, b is minus 3 over 2, so minus 3 over 2x, and c is minus 2 over 3, minus 2 over 3, right? So that is the equation which is of the parabola for the given conditions. So I hope the steps are absolutely clear. Feel free to write your comments, share your views, and if you like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. Thanks for watching and all the best.